Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Kathy Church. Excuse me. I'm with Auxiliary 233 in Ponte Vedra, and I'm a rider here at 316. I'm also the state coordinator for the Missing in America project for Florida and the Region 7, which is Georgia, Florida, Mississippi, and Alabama. I say this proudly, not braggingly. A show of hands of how many actually know what the Missing in America project is all about. Okay, so it's a good amount, but I'm just going to give a brief scenario. Our motto is, our goal is to locate, identify, and inter the unclaimed cremated remains of veteran spouses and dependents who have sat in funeral home basements, attics, medical examiners' offices, hospitals, police department, evidence rooms, and so on. When we say identify, we know who they are. Their urns are tagged with their names and the dates that they were cremated. We mean identify them through the National Cemetery Scheduling Office in St. Louis, that they're a veteran, a spouse or a veteran or a dependent, and that they're eligible to be interred in a national cemetery. These veterans have sat dating back to the Civil War days, believe it or not. Many reasons why people go unclaimed. You said I had like 45 to an hour to speak?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
These remains sit unclaimed for many reasons. One, veterans become homeless and indigent, which is very sad. Veterans and homeless should not go together. Families, unfortunately, argue, and no one wants to claim their mom or dad. And some families, they don't finish paying for the services, so they think that the funeral home's going to hold the remains hostage. And then sadly, people become distant from one another. A spouse and a wife a veteran might say, okay, they'll go to the funeral home and they'll plan their funeral together and tell the funeral home, hang on to my remains until my spouse dies, and then inter us together. Well, they might not let the family know this, or they might not have any more family, or the spouse might remarry and move on to another state, and nobody knows that their spouse is sitting in a funeral home on a shelf. So these are the reasons why this happens. Missing in America started in 2006. It took us a while to be able to actually inter anybody here in Florida. We had to get a House bill amended. But since 2010, after we got House Bill 175 amended, we were then able to start interring our veterans and spouses. Steve Strickelmeyer, who has since passed, and I were actually at the Capitol when this passed, and we were introduced on the House floor, which was very, very amazing for me. So as of right now, and you can read it in this, but I'd like to say the numbers out loud. Nationwide, since 2006, we have worked in 2,559 funeral homes. We have located over 28,076 remains. Now, we don't know if they're veterans or not at this point. Veterans that were identified are 6,028. So we have researched those. We have found that they were actually veterans and they're eligible to be interred. And since 2006, because other states were able to inter before we were, we've interred 5,574. This is nationwide. Now here in Florida, since 2010, we have worked in 198 funeral homes across the state. We've located 2,987 remains. Numbers waiting right now to be interred. We have 79 that have been verified. So we're working on services to inter them. We have one mission coming up in late October down south. We have interred 498 veterans, 171 spouses, and 2 dependents. This is from Jacksonville, South Florida National Cemetery in Lake Worth, Sarasota National Cemetery, Bushnell National Cemetery, and Cape Canaveral National Cemetery. Florida has 9 national cemeteries, so we have a lot throughout the state. What we need is, besides money and donations, that's all organizations, because our organization is run totally by volunteers. No one gets paid in our organizations. We need volunteers. Now, I know y'all wear a lot of hats and everybody's doing so much. But you could just help us out by learning what Missing in America Project is all about and speaking about it. When you're out with your friends who don't know about it, you know, find out what it is. Let them know they can sign up as a supporter. That helps us out. Or you can become an actual volunteer. I don't want to go into this much, not enough time, but you can get with me and I can tell you the different positions that are available. We need people to reach out to funeral homes, people to work in the funeral homes, because most funeral homes will provide us with the list of unclaimed. Example, Hardage Giddens Funeral Home had 12 locations in Jacksonville. Walter can tell you he worked out in the shed at which was the old crematorium out here at the beach of Beach Boulevard. No electricity, very hot, boxes and boxes. They will give us a list. Hardage Giddens gave us a list of 635 unclaimed remains. They had 12 locations of boxes just shoved in this, and we used their name of permission. We had to go box by box, name by name, and we were able to put our hands on over 300 files. And from that, we have then since interred the numbers I just told you. We've only done one other funeral home, which is Naugle Funeral Home. So right now, sadly, one of our genealogists just passed away, and we're looking for another genealogist. Basically, it's very basic genealogy. We need the name, the date of birth, the social security number, the birthplace, the race, the sex, and the city they were born in. We do not look for we don't look for family members or anything. We only can call or email, or mail, or publish in a newspaper any next of kin we find. So we need genealogists, because sometimes we don't have social security numbers, or they can look up to see if the person was in the service or a spouse of a veteran. We also, sad to say, that Steve Spickelmeyer, which I'm sure a lot of you know or knew, he was my right-hand person for Missing in America Project, and we worked together very closely on the Veterans Council in Duval County. He passed away in January this year of COVID. Steve held the position of Fields Operation Coordinator. What he did, when we have a service, they're full military with honor services at the national cemeteries. We usually inter about 25 at a time here in Florida. Steve would get with all the active duty, Navy, Army, Marine Corps and such, to get those active duty members to be a part of our service. Now, I've done it since Steve has passed, but it's really a job. And then he would go to the actual services and tell the team that got put together, how to do what we were doing for our particular services. So we are looking for someone to fill Steve's shoes, which was a lot. So genealogists, volunteers, because I am also in Georgia now, if you live towards the Georgia line, you could help us out in Georgia. We're actually looking for volunteers in those other states. So I know I'm kind of skipping a lot of information, but you all know. So my name and information is on the bottom. And of course, we do ask for donations as well. We have administration fees, licensing fees, insurance. If you ride in our, when we do a service, we do an American Legion ride or escort, you are insured if you ride properly in between the lead and the tail. You are covered under our insurance, which is not heard of very often. So this fee is just like any other organization. So if you have any questions, because I don't want to take up any more time, my name and information is down here. And I appreciate you letting me speak. My mouth is so dry, I apologize.
You're good.